cut with tea, cut with glue, and when you're using your glue, if you just drop your lid in there and just set that there, that's the best way not to have it splurting. I think you know that already.
Yeah.
So I've done a little split wire band with a third thing, and I think I do a bit on this every year, so this is this year's variant. You can see here wire number 3, which is a little bit above the head, and that's where I'm going to create the action. I've used a bit of marker pen to create dots, because one of the things that I'm very good at is missing the point with the symmetry. But if you measure and then just create these marks, they're all going to be covered up eventually.
Can I ask, with the middle wire,
Yeah.
did you create it like you put it one down, up and over, and then one on the opposite side?
You can do that. This
Yeah.
one, it was actually a bit of an afterthought, so I've got a go down there,
Yeah.
and then it comes up, and then it goes down on the other side, and then it comes up, and then there's just a stand. Actually no, that is a 3-way one, because there's only 2 joints. Otherwise I could do a split band, and then I could add one on, or add 2 on if you want it to be taller and taller. Hello,
Make
Renee.
it close.
Hey? What? Oh,
Renee.
that's better. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, long and short, if you're doing this as a tiara where you want it to be organised, that's a really nice way to start. And here's my little bit of bonus. You know how to just gently straighten the wire so that you get rid of that bit of a curve that's going on there when you've got it on the roll. So just keep gently moving, and
Like me.
you right?
Yeah, she's got that cuff. She's done the 22 ratchets.
Hey?
That's the cuff she's done the 22 ratchets
Oh,
for.
bless. You're so polite. I love your work. So you can use whatever measurements you like, or you can just do that matching so that you've got, I'm actually going to go for something like the,
Fee.
what's it called?
Antenna?
Pardon?
Two
No,
antenna?
I'm thinking more along the lines
Statue of Liberty.
of the Statue of Liberty, thank you. And I'm going to go matching height, or just a tad shorter. So you can do a bit of pre-bending if you like. And with this, most of you think along the lines of this anyway, that sort of odd number is often the best way to go. Yeah, that might be a bit short on that end, but don't be afraid if you need to add, just do an add-on if you need to, but that'll get me through today anyway. Yeah, so that'll get me started. And I've got my centre front mark over here. So what I'd like to do is, we're going to do just a little short join there and a short join there, and it's not rocket science really. I'm using, I actually went through my studio and picked out all the threads that were just about run out, and I thought, well, it's because it's going to get covered up, I might as well make the most out of those and use them up so that I haven't got rolls with, you can see the plastic, and there's not enough to thread. Now with this, I would normally double it over one, then wrap it over the other, and just put a little dot of your Yoo-hoo. You will get gluey fingers from this, and then just when you're wrapping, just go in every direction. Some theatrical milliners use wire. I tend not to. I think wire's a bit of overkill. If you use a bit of Yoo-hoo and a bit of thread, it's any god's amount strong enough for what we use it for, and to my mind it's a bit quicker and a bit friendlier on your fingers as well. So that's my join to the base, and because I've got a nice long continuous piece of wire here, it's going to stabilize as it goes onto the other wires. So once you've got your basic wire frame and you've covered it up with your tulle, see it's starting to get revolting on my fingers already, you can cover it up by stretching material over it, stab stitching that on. You can stitch beads onto it, you can stitch sequins onto it, you can use it as a vehicle for other things as you wish, and really just use your creative genius to get yourself there. So where am I going? Is that equal? Okay, want to just do a crossroad. So again, just a little length like that. Go over one lot of the wire. Use that to get you started, and then put a dot of Yoo-hoo, about a lentil's worth, or a split pea, and then over everything a couple of times, and then make an X. The size of your gaps between your wire, that one there, that the gaps are quite large, and she's got away with it because it's a fairly neat and clean design. Be the judge yourself of how big a space you can get away with. Also, try not to go too small with the spaces because they'll make you go bonkers. And be aware that if you're doing something like this, wrapping the wire is quite time consuming. So, you know, you might think, oh gosh, I'm going to make a really interesting piece, and then every piece of wire's got to be wrapped, and that's the thing that's going to break your heart. So be aware of that before you get too far down the line, because I don't want you to lose your spirit with this. So now let's just say, how are we going? Yeah, see that could come down to there, and I might just say make it a three piece. So have a look at your angle, see how that works, or I might even drop that down a fraction. You can get away with a bit of this. Just straighten that, drop that back a bit, and then I've got more than enough to do just one more little piece. And this one, just don't be too tough on yourself. This is really just a little piece that you might, it's the sort of thing that would be really good for little theatrical pieces for sugar plum fairies and those kind of little people. And it's just a bit of a warm-up piece, but also quite good for bridal. Really, you know, if you start throwing semi-precious bits of pieces onto it, you can actually have quite a bit of fun with brides with that kind of thing. How are we going? So that's starting to be a little bit like the Lady Liberty, thank you very much. So there's your crossroad. That's a bit of a glancing blow. If I wanted to, I could actually have that coming down and then coming along for a little while, so they're parallel and then they break away again. It's not rocket science doing wire work. It's really just about making sure that you've got secure joins. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you about is if you're doing something and you're not totally sure about where you're heading, you can actually hold the thing together and just have a little test by just, playing with it using some masking tape, and then you can go back and redo it. So if you're into accuracy, measure, mark, make your little dots. You can control the wire. This, I think, is really of interest, and those of you who want to do something that's got quite a a strict shape, like a circle around the outside of a larger shape. You can do two of these together and that'll increase the rigidity, but this stuff here is really quite good as well for that sort of thing. So if you want to, if she had done the higher tensile wire around the edge, she'd probably have a slightly cleaner line. I mean, she's done a good job, don't get me wrong, but this wire is really, it does come into its own when it comes to making really nice clean shapes. But if you try this on, I think you probably almost had enough fun, do you think?
Yeah.
Probably. Thank you.